Hi friends, in Planet Earth Dating, it's Thursday, October 3rd, 2019. In both the Lynn Life and the Jamie Body Mind, the authorized souls remain only child souls from the deeper, denser dimensions. We allow the children to pass through here on their way to the light. We attempt to give them uplift. They are not required to do anything. They are children.
That's true.
The authorized souls also include all other souls from all other dimensions, as long as the souls are already participating in the work to complete the many assignments already given to the search for truth community by wiser minds above all of us.
That's true.
And living by the search for truth rules already given to the search for truth community by wiser minds above all of us. In other words, the children are not expected to participate or live by the rules. The adults are expected to participate and live by the rules.
That's true.
Lately, the wiser minds above have been emphasizing how humanity is supposed to stop the destruction. Stop
That's
it,
true.
stop it, stop it, stop it. Lately, meaning for the past 5, 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah, that's true.
30, 40, 50 years, back to 100 years ago, they were really starting to mention this topic. Mention is the wrong term. They were really starting to declare an emergency on this topic.
That's true.
About 100 years ago. And now the consideration is, do they just shut down planet Earth, just shut it down, skim off the very best of the best souls and blow out of here, leaving the rest to suffer in the hell created by humanity?
That's true. And someone upstairs is asking, do bodies get skimmed off also?
Nobody seems to know how to do that.
No, that's true.
So that's just like collateral damage.
And that's what someone upstairs is saying.
Collateral damage. This morning, wiser minds above have been discussing humanity's actions and how humanity is acting like an infantile
That's
behavior of refusing to share and viewing oneself as the center of the universe, and that's how humanity is acting. But humanity is insisting that they are adult and should be allowed to make their own decisions.
That's true.
And so there is a discussion of angels and godly presences responsible for planet Earth, attempting to discern what set of rules applies here.
That's
Does
true.
the set of rules apply that one would apply to children and infants particularly? Or does the set of rules apply that one would apply to adults? How does one treat humanity? And we believe they mean both the individual humans and the collective of humanity.
That's true.
That's our best guess. And we think that that's the assignment for our filming
true.
today. We're supposed to, the host lives, when they get the assignment to film, they're supposed to discern what the topic is supposed to be. And this question of what set of rules applies to humanity seems to be relevant, because for these two host lives, we have special skills that have been developed by participating in an educational process and a training program for many years.
That's true.
And those special skills help facilitate divine miracles occurring, but the divine presences have to want to help.
That's true.
The only part of this process that we can't do is the miracle part, is the part that really counts, and
That's
that
right.
comes from above.
That's right.
And an important part of this work, in this era at least, is to find divine presences who are interested in helping, who want to help. And when the subjects of the healing process are being revolting, nobody upstairs wants to help them. It's like
That's true.
you're being revolting, you're being an ingrate, you're being selfish, you're being lazy, you're being a hypocrite.
That's
You're
true.
or blatantly lying, cheating, stealing, bullying, or siding with liars, cheats, thieves, and bullies.
That's true.
And so nobody upstairs wants to help people like that. And if that's how humanity is acting, it's not looking good for a divine miracle here.
That's true.
What set of rules applies? Is this a case of infantile behavior on the part of an entire species? And if so, what would godly presences do for a species that's acting infantile? Well, they're saying it's kind of like bugs in a house. And we think we know what they're referring to because we don't mind bugs in a house if those bugs aren't going to breed.
That's true.
But if the bugs are breeding, we don't want them in the house.
That's true.
Like if some love bug wanders in, they're not going to be laying their eggs in the house. The house doesn't facilitate that.
That's true.
So, oh well, the love bug wanders in, let it die a natural death. It'll be dead in a day or two.
That's right.
Whereas if some little egg-carrying bug scuttles in, we get our cup and capture it in the cup and take it back outside. It's like, no. We're not playing this game with you.
That's true.
And the godly presences are pointing to humans refusing to give up breeding. Not even taking a hiatus from breeding and insisting that they absolutely have the divine right to breed. And therefore, they're almost insisting that adult rules be applied. And adult rules would say, catch them in a cup and put them off the biosphere.
That's true.
What now? What now to stop the destruction? What now? How can we be of service to stop the destruction? Doesn't this tie into the many situations of the dead and the undead, and how there's so many dead people hanging around and making it really difficult for the living to tell what's going on, what's really going on? How do we deal with the undead who don't even know they're dead?
I don't hear anything.
I don't hear anything. It's not closed, though. The portal isn't closed.
I keep seeing the image of the cup and the paper and the taking the bug outside and the releasing the bug outside.
Well, we would be really delighted if there was some way to catch and release humans, catch them on planet Earth and release them off planet.
Sure, that's true.
I don't know how to do that.
No, that's true.
We think the bigger question is the issue of what rules apply, because
That's true.
until there's consensus on that topic upstairs, nothing's really going to change.
That's right.
Because some presences up there you can feel they're pointing to certain behaviors and saying, well, this is clearly infantile behavior on the part of humanity, probably as a collective.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're talking about the selfishness and the refusal to share and this very grumpy, everybody else is the problem. I'm not the problem.
That's right.
And forgetting to look for how all of us are the problems. Like, we have to really face facts that we as humans like to live destructively. That's what they're saying.
That's true.
And that's reality. And then to obviously limit our footprint by having fewer of us is crucial, and that means to stop the insane death-delaying tactics that keep virtual zombies alive for sometimes as long as 5 or 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
Just rotting in some nursing home somewhere or rotting at home.
That's true.
But clearly those bodies should be allowed to die.
That's true.
How do we go about making a change with that? How can we begin the process of allowing people, humanity, to live vibrant lives until that's no longer possible, and then just as one would allow their beloved pet to transition. One could allow one's beloved parent to transition.
That's right.
Without being judged or accused of murder.
Right.
Right? How can we make that not only acceptable, but even honorable? Honored. It is honorable, but it's not being honored.
That's true.
How do we do that? Does anybody have any answers? How can we be of service in that goal or that assignment? And somebody's saying, and what about the people who want to die? Shouldn't they be allowed to die? The humans who want to die. If somebody wants to off themselves, who are we, any of us, this is the angels and godly presences responsible for planet Earth that are saying this.
That's
They're saying
true.
if somebody wants to die, how dare anybody else substitute his or her judgment for the person in question? Why
That's
not
true.
let that person make his or her own decisions, assuming they're older than, let's say, 8 years old? Which
That's
is
true.
what the angels and godly presences have consistently said is the age of reason, the point at which the life is no longer covered by the grace extended to babies and children,
That's true.
but begins to accrue karma based on his or her own actions and choices.
That's true.
And so if somebody is beyond the age of reason, which is 8 to 10 years old usually, to let them make their own choice. Stop pretending that anybody knows better than that person does what he or she needs.
That's true.
That's what the angels and godly presences are saying. And they're just talking amongst themselves. That's what
true.
they don't seem to be talking to us at all. They
No.
seem to be talking amongst themselves
That's true.
on the topic of how to get humanity as a collective to act more mature than an infant,
Yes, that's true.
or to cap the breeding. I think that's what they said, cap the breeding.
That's what that sounds like.
Cap the breeding. In which case they would be seen as a harmless bug.
Yes, it's true.
How can we be of service to stop the destruction? What can we do right now to stop the destruction? And we know again that stopping the destruction is going to probably take a divine miracle to get humans to pull their heads out of wherever they have them wedged
That's true.
and stop being so destructive. What now to stop the destruction? What set of rules applies to humanity? Is it the rules for infants or the rules for adults? That question goes up.
Yeah, it does.
It opens the portals
Yeah, it does.
in a series,
That's
higher
true.
and higher. What set of rules applies? Is it the rules for infants? Or is it the rules for adults? Or some other set of rules?
That's
But
true.
between those two, better one or two. There's not agreement upstairs.
No, not agreement
Some people are
upstairs.
saying, as long as they're declaring themselves adult and something like seizing their right to breed, or it's something about the right to breed,
Yeah, that's
maybe
true.
claiming their right to breed or declaring their right to breed or stubbornly insisting they have a right to breed. That might
Yeah,
be
that
it.
could be it.
Then clearly the adult rules apply. If they were to give up insisting that they have the right to breed, then humans could be judged by the rules applicable to infants, because
That's true.
infants don't breed.
That's true.
And so by insisting we have the right to breed, they're pointing to ground zero planet Earth humans. They're saying you, but we're saying we, because they're including us.
That's true.
I'm saying if you insist on your right to breed, then you're insisting on your right to be kind of like tried as an adult.
That's what they're saying. Tried as an adult.
There are movements where people say, I'm not going to do that.
That's true.
Many spiritual traditions, the monks and nuns, priests, etc., give up their right to breed. They
That's right.
say, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use my energy in other ways.
That's true.
And this host life took vows of celibacy at the start of the retreat period 10 years ago.
That's right.
And we've been living to monastic standards for this entire time.
That's true.
We think anybody who is living to monastic standards, therefore, is not claiming a right to breed, and
That's
possibly
true.
infantile rules would apply. Possibly. Do you hear anything else?
Not right now. It's open in the head.
It's open in the head.
Someone in that higher dimension room way up there is talking about what it means to be an adult versus what it means to be a baby.
Well, that's the topic of discussion. That is the topic. And they're upstairs attempting to discern what barometer or test can be applied, and they seem to be talking about procreation. It's possible it's because overpopulation is an enormous problem, and that humanity has for 100 years now been ignoring divine instructions to stop breeding so many humans.
That's true. And someone in that higher dimension room is talking about taking responsibility, and something to do about taking responsibility.
They're just talking amongst themselves.
I think that must
They're
be
nowhere
what this feeling
near
is.
having a decision or a consensus. They're just talking through it, attempting to come to consensus on whether or not humans should be judged, they keep saying judged, by the rules for babies or the rules for adults.
That's true.
All right. We think that's relevant.
I do.
Thank you very much. Maybe we just continue our efforts to shorten the karmic cycles on a mass scale so that our karma can be delivered to us fast enough for us to get some awareness that we're messing up,
That's true.
or that we're doing the right thing,
That's true.
were that ever to happen.
Right.
This is what somebody says.
That's true.
Friends, it's really important. This is like a guardian angel speaking, because
Yeah.
they're turning to the camera and making eye contact with the camera, and that almost always means guardian angel.
That's true.
They're saying humanity is completely headed backward, and this society needs to make a hard U-turn. If you're wondering, am I doing anything right, or what am I doing right, the answer is the only thing that is right is to be speaking up to stop the destruction, or acting in such a way as to stop the destruction. And peaceful, non-violent resistance or rebellion is the most effective way of promoting societal change. And so once again, the angels are saying, if you are not participating in peaceful, non-violent rebellion efforts, then you're not doing anything right, actually.
That's true.
That's what they say. We ourselves hope that this counts. Based on all the harassment we get, we think it should count.
That's true.